you can say that we were scammed. We had about $67 in our pocket and our credit card. That was it. We were on his floor for sleeping at the church for about a week, or a little bit too, maybe. So.
Hello, and thank you for coming to our channel, How We Made It in Japan. You may have seen them in Pharrell and Jay-Z's music video for Black Man or in any of the numerous other videos on YouTube, but SoulFood House is definitely a staple in the expat community here in Tokyo, Japan. And if you're not familiar with the Black American cuisine restaurant, we have a future video with the owners, LaTanya and David, coming out in a few weeks talking about how they opened their restaurant as non-Japanese in Japan. However, while many other videos comment on LaTanya and David's food and the rarity of a soul food restaurant in Asia, Nayo and I never knew how the Whitakers first came to Japan and were shocked to learn their story. Today, find out the crazy, unique story of how the Whitakers came to Japan and started their restaurant, SoulFood House.
When I got pregnant, I don't know. I said I love Japanese food, but I'm hungry.
This ended up through Thanksgiving parties.
Yep.
So when we first got to Japan to live and come as missionaries, there were people that said they would support us and all that, and we got here. The mission organization that we were supposed to be going with lost our application. So we were here, they're like, no, just go ahead. We'll finish the paperwork when you get there. Application was no longer there, like did not exist. So we were here on a visitor visa and had to figure out how to stay.
We have been communicating with this organization for like 3 months or so it wasn't like a little short thing, but it was very interesting. The person who was our rep, she said to us, okay, my husband is getting transferred, so I will be transferring your case over to a different person. And we said, okay, but when you get to Japan, this person will be picking you up. We had even talked to the church leaders that we were supposed to be working with when we got here, and I guess you can say that we were scammed. I mean, let's be honest. You don't really want to say that because we were at the airport. We had the number to the church, everything, and then they're going like, oh, we don't know who you are. Like literally got off the plane, and because any type of fundraiser or anything that you do, we had about $67 in our pocket and our credit card. That was it. You called back, good, sure enough, she really did work there, but she was gone. Like literally she was gone, and everything that we had was gone.
Oh hell yeah, I might actually talk about that later.
Huh?
I think I'm talking about
We were, my friend who we went to school with was the one who helped us to get established. We were on his floor for sleeping at the church for about a week, or a little bit too, maybe. So he told us, he said, I've talked to the church and we're not in a position to be able to sponsor missionaries right now. However, we'll help you get set up. And they helped get us a house, they got us our furniture, members donated all that, But the same exact friend and his wife said to us, hey, it's Thanksgiving. So we moved here in August of 2005. Yeah, and so Thanksgiving came along, and he said to us, his wife, can you do a Thanksgiving party? And we did. And that was, the first party was maybe about 30 people, members from the church, people we knew from the community and stuff like that. Because David does music, and he's never gonna stop doing music. That was 10 years of Thanksgiving parties that grew from 30 to 200 people. And from that, people were like, hey, can you cater? Oh, can you do cooking classes?
Somebody moved the party to their house.
Yeah, one year somebody moved the party to like the Alpha party to their house, and I'm talking about this Japanese community. Because of what happened, we ended up on a tourist visa with no job. So literally for 3 months, I was looking for a job. I remember hearing God say, walk to Ikebukuro. We were living in Kamietabashi at the time. And just walk into your blessing and keep walking until you walk into your blessing. And I was like, okay. So we literally walked from Kamiya to Bashi to Ikebukuro Road. It's not short distance at all. But we walked Kawagoe and Kaido and kept walking around Ikebukuro. And then it was like, okay, nothing. What do we do? And then there was a guy who was selling, incense?
Yeah, incense.
Yeah, he was selling incense, and he said, and a friend came up to him and he said, hey, are you working? I was like, not yet. You need a job? Yeah, I need a job. Just one moment. Stay right here. And he said, I'll be right back. He came back maybe 30 minutes later with information and said, hey, call this place. This is your job. And sure enough, I worked for Berlet's for 8 years.
A guy I met on the street came and got the information and told me to apply.
He told me this was my job.
My secret to a good Bloody Mary.
Pickle juice.
Yep.
I hope I'm not giving your secret away.
Nah, I make my own pickle juice, so.
Oh.
They would have to come to me for it.
Okay.
You know, people were always like, how are you able to have all the cops coming, you know? Because we had live music, we had everything going on.
People outside.
Outside, like,
In
you
the
know.
street.
Yes, in the street. Smokers going on one side, deep frying turkeys, smoking turkeys, barbecue, the whole shebang, right? There was a fight in our community of the people down the hill, and we lived on top of a hill. We had a garage, and we was like, okay, you can put your bicycles, because they were just fighting over the cars and the bicycles. You can come and put your thing into our garage, and nobody would come. And we were trying to do mission, but you know, you say Ohio and nobody would speak to you.
Sign up, people ignore it. You like, park the bike here. I don't know you. On the day she was ready to pack it up, cry, and walk away from Japan, I walk outside, our sign was taken down. I'm like, that's strange. Our neighbor comes out of his house. He had taken the sign, going inside, printed a sign and laminated it and put it up. And he and one of the other community leaders were putting the bikes in our garage. I'm like, Tanya, come outside. I'll come outside.
Completely full of bikes. And shortly after that, we were invited to the community meeting. He said, everybody, these are the Whitakers, everybody, please, welcome to Whitakers. Politicians in the room, pouring the sake, and you know, that's when I learned cover that joint up, because they keep pouring.
You don't know this motion over your glass. Before you get here, learn that. It'll save your life.
From that point, our life was completely different, because everybody in coming into Bashi, the taxi drivers, everybody knew who we were. They welcomed us and let us, and that's when you find out that the community does bowling parties together, barbecues, all kind of stuff that they do together, and we were officially a part of the neighborhood.
Have you been to SoulFood House before?
I have been to SoulFood House before. And Legacy Lounge. Yeah.
I knew about SoulFood House. I've been there, what, maybe 2-3 times? Maybe even 4 times. But I've never heard of or seen Legacy Lounge. I'm really interested in knowing what it is.
Well, I'll say a quick tidbit because I'm sure David can say more. But Legacy Lounge opened in September of 2020. And it's kind of like a community space to come together for like conversation and good times and, you know, I think for like landing and things like that, as well as food. So yeah, it's a cool little setup.
It sounds like you just read that from Google.
I did read it from their official Facebook page.
The Japanese side, the reception to the food has been one of intrigue because it doesn't fit the box of American. Because stereotype is hamburgers, hot dogs, steak.